Hey everybody, this is Doc Mack from the Galloping Ghost Arcade out in Brookfield, Illinois. We are here today doing another gamer profile, and this time with none other than Tim Foley, longtime regular.
Hello everyone, how you doing out there?
Thank you.
I know we're not live, but thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us. And again, we do these player profiles to get a little more inside information about the people that come here to the Galloping Ghost Arcade. And you've been coming here for a while. You definitely have. You're not the typical gamer here. Like you go after scores, but you're not a hardcore like high score chaser. Like you're a bit more in the collecting side. So like it's definitely great to have your insight as to what you like about this place and how. Like what you do here at the arcade.
I guess I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none. I mean, I like to play the games. I like to submit scores. I like to have, keep track of my progression. I like the whole entire experience of the arcade.
That's awesome. Well, let's start with, tell us about when you first got into arcades. Like, obviously, with your background, this is not the first arcade you've been in. Tell us about, like, some of the first arcades you've ever experienced and what you played and where they were.
Right. Well, my first real memory when I was aware was there was not a haunted trails, a Western Trails on 111th and Cicero in Oak Lawn. It's not there anymore. It's got tore down and all that type of stuff. But my grandfather, he would take me there. I'd stay overnight at my grandma and grandpa's, and he'd take me there on a Saturday morning. We'd miniature golf. We'd play around, and then he'd just give me rolls and rolls and rolls of quarters. I was kind of like I was spoiled, and gave me all these rolls of quarters, and I just go in there and I just have a ball. And that was about probably 88, 89, around there. So I was about, 7 or 8 years old. I mean, I played arcade games here and there. Pop a quarter in, it makes some noise, I die, I walk away. I was happy, though. I was a kid, But I remember when I really became aware was at Western Trails, and I just remember seeing, it was kind of that era, too, where the classic games, if you will, your Galaga, Galaxian, those were still around, but especially in the Chicago area, Midway started coming into power, and you had these games with like digitized graphics. And I'll remember being a little kid. I remember Arch Rivals too, and I just remember being like, "Oh, you could punch people in this basketball game! Like that's so crazy!" And it just blew my mind. And then I remember games like even Pit Fighter, Mortal Kombat 1. There was a couple other. Narc, obviously Narc. I can't forget that. And just like digitized graphics were just blew my mind. Like that there were real people inside the games, and I did grasp that concept. So that was like one of my main arcade memories, if you will, was going there all the time.
Do you remember the first arcade game you ever played?
Oh, geez, I can't really remember. Like I said,
what about, did you have like a game that every time you went to the arcade there was like you had to play?
Yeah, definitely Arch Rivals.
Arch Rivals?
Yeah, if there was an Arch Rivals, I definitely played it. Even later on a little bit. I mean, Ninja Turtles. Everybody played it, and that was, I remember Chase HQ. I used to play that all the time. But yeah, my go-to was like Arch Rivals, Narc, and then Mortal Kombat 1, and just the whole artistry, if you will, of the cabinets and the presentation and the artwork, and it just, walking up as a little kid and you see this like monstrous thing and it's taller than you and you're like, whoa, like there's a TV in here, and it's well, not really TV, but and it just blew my mind. So yeah, that's about it,
Were you always consistent in going to the arcades, or there was so many people that kind of fell off on the arcades and went to play console gaming for a long time?
Well, I grew up in a small farm town. I know I'm not making this up either. It's called Manhattan, Illinois, and I mean, nothing to do in the town. I mean, no such thing as forget about arcades or anything like that. So the only time I would get to consistently play was there was a bowling alley in New Lenox. They had a game room in there, and I played a lot of games there because I used to be on a league when I was a little kid, and kids would have birthday parties there and stuff. And again, I spent a lot of times with my grandparents, and at Western Trails was pretty much my jam. I mean, when you're a kid, you're kind of limited. I mean, the people that kind of lived out more this way that could kind of walk to places and stuff. But again, I was in a little farm town, so unless somebody took me, I really couldn't go. And then I started getting into collecting. I think first collecting for the house, and because I started getting into that, and then I think I had found you guys. Just heard it like word of mouth, or maybe it might have even been Facebook, and I was like, cool, I got to go check this out.
Do you remember, and again, do you remember your first time actually coming here, and do you know when it was about? Like,
had to been, you guys were 2011, right?
2010.
2010. It was probably 2011. I remember you guys still had the cocktail tables over here. You had the party rooms. You were cooking pizzas. I remember that. You can get pizza here. None of the expansion had happened or anything like that. So, yeah, it was probably right around 2011, 2012 maybe. And, me and the wife came up here. And at first I was like, that's cool. I want to go back. But it wasn't until I got into the scoring, got more involved in collecting, and the community aspect of what's going on here and all over the place in all the different arcades, and found out about Underground Retrocade and all these things, and it was just like, whoa, this is like my people, That's kind of how I felt.
Well, and you have, again, we have such a strong scoring community here, but you are... have access to different communities, again, with the collecting side of it, which is amazingly interesting. Like, there's, of as many people that come in here, there's definitely fewer people that are on the collecting side. So many are here to chase scores, or just here as a casual. To have a collector here is really awesome. What was the first arcade game that you bought?
First game I bought was Mortal Kombat 2 in a beat-up Dynamo cab. A Dynamo cab is like a generic cab that was meant to have pretty much anything in it.
How long ago was that?
That was 2011. And I bought that.
Was that before or after you came here?
That was right before. I think that was kind of the catalyst, like... oh, cool, I have an arcade game now. And then I'm like, oh, I found out at this place. I think this place at the time had a little over 100 games or 200 games maybe. But I'm like, oh, man, you just pay one price and you get to go in and check out some stuff. And so I think that was getting that first piece of junk cabinet was like my catalyst into learning more about the scene, the arcade scene, the collecting scene, and just it kind of progressed from there.
How many arcade games do you have right now in your collection?
Let's see. I sold Gyrus and Donkey Kong. I got 12 arcade games and then a pinball machine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm constantly trying to make room for more. But right now,
I know the struggle.
Yeah. I'm sure you do. Maybe I should do a fundraiser. Anybody out there? No, okay. But yeah, I mean, if I had the space and the time and the money, obviously, it's real cheap to get into the hobby, though. It depends on if you want to try and learn how to fix stuff, because if you've ever been here, they're hard. These machines are hard to keep running, and they're 30, 40 years old. So if you ever come in here, I just got to say this. If you ever come in here and you know, you might be a little bummed that something's down or the monitor's not quite right or whatever. You guys will try and do everything you can to fix it as soon as possible. But it's tough. Any given day, you could turn on a game and it could just not be working.
Just doesn't want to turn on.
Right. So, yeah. But yeah, you know, people out there who happen to stumble upon this, you know, not only go to your arcades and get the experience and the sound and the noises and just the atmosphere, but also, you know, if you want to pick up a cabinet for the house, there's Prince Arcades. You can actually a lot of times talk to Doc and he'll point you in the right direction. And if you're not sure about stuff, don't overpay. Just do your research a little bit and jump into it, you know?
For sure. Well, and there's collecting is so many different things to so many different people. Like it's great to see you've been such a big proponent and an advocate of getting people involved in collecting, and you've helped bring people into like our swap meet and to so many of the different events, and that's really awesome that you do it not only just for us. You've helped other arcades like Joliet,
Chicago Street Pinball, which they're actually going to change their name, I think, to Game Show Pinball. That's in Joliet, because right now I live in Joliet. It's about half hour from here, 45 minutes depending on traffic. So yeah, I try and it's the way I look at it. It's free to do that stuff. It's free to share. It's free to log in or check in somewhere or take a picture or just word of mouth. Just tell people. Like I can't even tell you how many people randomly have brought up like arcade games, and I'm like, oh yeah, well check this place out, you know. And I've had people come here and just say, wow, you weren't kidding, you know. So
well, we definitely appreciate everything that you've done, not only just for us, but for the arcade community in general, because it just takes a little bit of word of mouth to get other people into it.
Right.
And we're fortunate to have people. Oh, excuse me. We're very fortunate to have people like yourself promoting the arcade culture. And you're on a lot of the forums and everything, and we just definitely want to thank you and know that it's appreciated.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, I'm just a drop in the bucket compared to what goes on here in the arcade as far as scoring and stuff like that. But I just do what I can. It's important, very, very, very important that people look beyond. Just a lack of a better term, cheap thrill of, you know, oh yeah, cool, you know, like go play stuff that you've never played before. Ask people like, hey, what games are you digging on? There's a lot of gems out there that you might miss if you just come in here and you play the standards, you play your Pac-Mans and your Donkey Kongs. Great games, but there's just tons and tons of games out there. So
what are some of your favorites to play here at the arcade?
Oh, geez. Well, obviously Narc, my favorite arcade game ever. Mad Planets.
Great game.
Yeah, just addicting. Just love it for some reason. So check out Mad Planets. I will never own one because they're $2,000-$3,000. Unless somebody out there wants to buy me one, that's cool. But Mad Planets definitely. Windjammers on the Neo Geo.
Great game.
Nightmare in the Dark on the Neo Geo. Love playing that. Actually, today I was playing Puyan again. I mess around with the shmups a little bit just because in the shmups I enjoy the art, I guess you can say, in the patterns, in the presentation of the shmups. So yeah, that's just a few. Oh, Rampage. Definitely Rampage is one of my favorites. Again, classic Midway, that era, late 80s, early 90s.
Well, in the fact that you are a collector, that's one of the, like, you have a very diverse interests as far as like your game interests, like as far as genres. What is the game that you're most want right now? It's often harder just because like shmup collectors will have just like 2 or 3 because they're just into shmups, and someone like yourself who is into pretty much all different genres and collects, what game are you really looking for you that you don't already have?
Well, I guess I could say at home, it would probably be Mad Planets.
Mad Planets?
I just love the game. I love everything that's going on with it. Big fan of Moon Patrol too.
Great game.
Which
Great game.
and I just love that game. I have a Joust. It's a cocktail. Very rare. It's not working right now. But there's nothing really out of the ordinary, so to speak, that I just was like, oh, that's like my grail. You know what I mean? That term's thrown around a lot, but yeah, just Mad Planets, I would think.
That's awesome. I see that you have some ink on some of the games that you like. You got Joust and Rampage.
Joust, Rampage, Galaga. I got my first one up here, which is gotta have this. You can't really see it, but it's Scorpion saying the "Get over here." Just because Scorpion, it's iconic. I think
Absolutely.
With not only Mortal Kombat, but arcade games in general, that era of Midway games. That's why I'm excited about the Insert Coin documentary. I'm hoping that comes out. I really hope that they're moving forward with that.
Absolutely, they are.
Because that's kind of that's my jam right there. I mean, that was an era that I'll always remember. And Scorpion specifically, I remember when I first played Mortal Kombat, I'm like, dude, look at this yellow ninja, and he's kind of like this, you know, and he's movement and the movement. And I'm like, he's a ninja. It's cool. And I'm like, he's yellow. There you go. Pete Hahn's doing it over there. Next time you're in the arcade, ask Pete Hahn to do a Scorpion impersonation. But yeah, it's just something. I tried to do iconic stuff, and hopefully it'll all come together one day.
Do you have your next one planned? Are you getting another one soon?
Yeah. The next one planned is probably Centipede. That's another great game. Real easy to play. Everybody pretty much knows it. I always see it getting played here. I got one at home, and so I just think the Centipede's cool because if you look at the side art of Centipede, the Centipede looks so menacing and evil, and then you go and play the game, and it's like it's just some dots and mushrooms and bleeps and bloops, but that side art though. And I know there may be some people who are like, I don't care. It could be in a cardboard box just as long as the game plays. Not me. I need to have just that experience of the side art and them trying to sell you Centipede as something awesome. And back then, I was too young. Centipede was what, 82 or 83?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't grasp the concept of games really at that age. But I'm sure the people who were older were like, whoa, look at this. It blows my mind. And seeing the side art and the presentation.
Yeah. Well, Centipede, again, like that artwork is so iconic.
Right.
So.
Oh, yeah, Centipede. Yeah, everybody knows it,
One of the other things that here at the arcade, you're always here at our events and everything. Is there a particular event that you've always just been like, man, that was a great event, or an annual event that you look forward to?
Well, I get things out of events, different things that people might not get. I mean, it's just like the swap meets is one of my favorite ones. I wish if anybody's watching out there, more arcade people need to show up and bring arcade stuff. Because I know Doc has. I'm going to look at the camera for this one. I don't know what to do, but Doc has tons and tons and tons of PCBs that he wants to get rid of, and Naomi stuff, and there's MVS carts and parts, and even if you need a full cab, talk to Doc and he'll either hook you up, try and get you one, or tell you where you can go. And so I would like more arcade people to come to the events. And then an event too that you guys used to do back a while ago was you had a wiring class. I think you might have had 2 of those. And one day, I think it was you and Brandon.
Yep.
Took a JAMA cab that had some kind of just bowling game in it or something, dumb. If you like that, that's cool. And put an awesome game in it, and you just totally gutted it and wired it up and showed people how you did it. And I thought that was informative too, because I like to find out everything that goes into these games, and it's pretty amazing. And if you're ever here, dude, if Doc's working on something, and be like, hey, what are you doing? And then he'll tell you.
And we do. We absolutely love sharing that information, and well, we've been fairly vocal about that and wanting to share that information, and people can come in and learn pretty much anything they want here about wiring arcade cabinets.
Right.
We encourage that. We've had you here a few times working on your own boards and everything, and we're grateful that you take advantage of that and utilize that, because that's one of those things that we want people to do, and there's so few people that do it. It's like we have all this equipment and everything for everybody. Not like we obviously need it all to fix all the machines, but we want it to be an added service to the arcade where somebody needs something. Hey, yeah, we got it, and we can help you out. And we're happy that you get your games working at home.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. It's the collector community, the scoring community, just the regular gamers. They all could benefit from each other. You need everybody in this together. Not to sound like some kind of all we need is love hippie or anything, but we're all in this together. You need collectors to keep machines running. You need techs to keep things running. You need people to want to play the games, actually. You got to get kids involved in it. And you got to have them appreciate more than, I'm going to sound like an old man here, but sitting on the Xbox, no scoping people with sniper rifles, and just kind of show them that it's about the community. It's about the noise. It's about running around, no running in the arcade, but walking around and just enjoying the atmosphere. And so many times I see it when I'm here, I kind of people watch, and I watch people just walk in, and if it's their first time especially, they're just like, they walk around in a daze for half hour, 45 minutes. And it even today, I came in, and I'm walking back and forth, and I told Pete, I said, dude, no matter how many times I'm here, I get like, I don't know what to play. It's so much fun. But just if you've come across this video and you just casually came to the arcade, there is a community around this, and it's get involved. Just come up to anybody here, and everybody's so friendly. Just be like, hey, what's the hardcore belt? What's the T20 tournament? What's Sega Week? What's this? What's that? And they'll tell you, and or like arcade, your scoring house that it's free, it's easy, use it. Just I want this place. I want all these games to be around forever, because I don't want my kids or my daughter selling my game for $10 when I die. So let's keep them going. Let's keep people wanting them. All right?
For sure. And again, there's so many. Is there has there been any particular moment here that you've experienced that is just like, wow, that is like, you've been to a lot of our events where we've had industry people and a lot of scoring achievements done here. What has been like an event here that's just like the pinnacle of standout events for you?
Well, obviously, I'm a little biased, but I'm going to say the NARC event you had a couple years ago, where you had the developers from NARC who coincidentally developed other major games. But Eugene Jarvis, George Petro, Larry DeMar, Mark
Lafredo.
Yeah, and
Mr. Big himself.
Right, Mr. Big. And just seeing those people come together, and they haven't maybe seen each other in a while or talked, and seeing those people go, wow, people are actually interested in what we did. And same with the combat cons. I mean, or before it was even just Shang Tsung's fight night. You know, it started out small, and now it is what it is. Seeing all them people realize, or like Brian Cullen, you know, like seeing Brian and Jeff realize, like, wow, people actually care that there were people behind these games who thought this up, who put in blood, sweat, and tears to make these, and after all these years, people are recognizing that, like the arcade, or like geeks like me who care about stuff like that, or, you know, there's a lot of other people out there who get starstruck by these people that were a big part of our childhood. And it's just great. Any event you have developers is great, because it's like, just, I don't know, man. It just gives me the willies, you know, not the bad way, but in the good way. You know,
we have one coming up that I think you're going to really enjoy.
Right. Oh, really? Okay.
Easily the largest developers event that we've ever attempted. So,
oh boy, when you make an announcement on that, you don't know.
Probably this week we'll make an announcement.
Oh boy.
Hopefully you will be pleasantly pleased.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we thank you very much. Unless there's something else that you wanted to add to.
No, not really. Just if you come across this and you just come here casually, like, come up to me, come up to anybody who's here, Doc, Pete, James White, Jamie Tibbetts, Fred DeHart, any of those guys. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of regulars, you know, or look up on the high scorecards and see who's got the high score, and then reach out to them on Facebook or through productions page or the arcade page, and just be like, hey, I want to learn what's up. Can you show me, or can we play together? Just keep coming out. That's all I got to say. And if you're interested in a game for your house, do your research and go out and get one and jump into it, you know?
That's awesome.
And that's it.
Very cool.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. Tim Foley, everyone. One of the many regulars here at the Galloping Ghost Arcade, and definitely a great person to come talk to while you're here, and definitely has a lot of knowledge about the arcade scene in general, so hit him up. Thanks, everybody. This is Doc Mack from the Galloping Ghost Arcade, and we hope to see you around the arcade soon.